Hello and welcome back to the Ur-Quan Masters Hardcore Challenge, episode 20. We just went to Pekunk Space as they were moving towards Yehat Space, and we've told them to turn back, and I suppose in about, I think it's about 6 months' time, we'll have to look on the wiki for the exact details. We can actually go there and pick up some Furies. We might even be able to do it straight away. I'm not actually completely sure how it works, but we can go there and get 4 more Furies. The next thing I want to do is go and talk to the Arilou, so I'm going to go to their area of Hyperspace. And I think just talking to them should give me information about the Deep Children, the fact that they use the Deep Children to terraform the worlds for the Mycon to live on. And I think because I've got I don't know whether I need the egg case fragments or not. I think the egg case fragment is only important for the evidence to give to the Cyrene. I don't think you actually need it to get this information from the Arilou. So this should be pretty easy. Just talk to them once, head back into quasi-space, go head towards Betelgeuse where the Cyrene are. God, I've never been in quasi-space for a long time. It's nice to hear the music, slightly calming, compared to that continual battle music against the Mycon. Can finally just relax a little bit before we have to go into too much for fighting again. I suppose we'll have to do quite a lot later on, but not for now. For now, we just wait around, I guess. I don't think there's any other ships here other than Arilou. Maybe some probes. But if we just wait around, soon enough an Arilou will show up. I think that's a probe by the look of it. Certainly is. Slowly but surely they'll become less and less frequent as the destruct sequence gets transmitted through the whole of hyperspace. And that will be the end of the Slalandro project. It's a shame really, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that they screwed up the priorities, it would have actually been quite handy, I imagine, the Slalandro project. It wouldn't have... I wonder if the priorities still would have destroyed ships. I can't remember exactly how it works, the whole priority system. If they had had the replication be a bit lower, would they have still sometimes destroyed like ships? I don't know. I guess the idea would be that they wouldn't. At least it's much better than sitting around having to actually fight them. It's a lot quicker anyway. It's not any much easier really, because as I say, Fwifo deals with them pretty well. Just means I don't have to spend 1 or 2 minutes actually doing it. I can just boop, destruct. Easy. I wonder when they're going to show up. Is this one here? The Arilou travel a little bit slower than probes, so I think maybe an Arilou... That might be an Arilou. It travelled a little bit slower. There we go.
Did you desire this meeting, Captain, or did we?
I think I did, but I suppose the two aren't mutually exclusive.
With ships and weapons, blood and bones? No. Too many shipmates were forcibly discorporated in the last conflict. Our cooperation is not necessary. You are the focus. However, knowledge transcends reality perimeters, and this we can share with you. An example, to discover the nature of the red probes, seek creatures who inhabit a world with no surface.
Yeah, we're a little bit ahead of you on that.
Farewell, child.
That wasn't quite what we wanted. Maybe we chose the wrong chat option? I think it's a probe. It's possible that the information about the Mycon doesn't come until the second meeting, but I'm not sure. It's also funny that they say that they're not going to cooperate, even though they actually, if you go to the starbase after you meet them for the first time, or after you get the quasi-portal spawner, they actually do give you 3 skiffs, so a little bit inaccurate there. I suppose they felt that just a few ships wouldn't be too bad. Ah, this is another one.
Did you desire this meeting, Captain, or did we?
Aha, that's the one we want.
The Mycon change and reform worlds with their deep children. These changes affect others, unfortunately. The fate of your world and your heart relate to these matters.
Perfect.
Farewell, child.
Okay, so we got the information we need. We can move on. We now need to head back into quasi-space and head towards Betelgeuse, I suppose. Just checking on the map, make sure I go to the right place. Seem to remember there's not too many spots that are actually close to Betelgeuse, but this is the closest of them all. That's one thing about both the Hyperspace theme that I've got installed here and also the Quasi-Space theme, is that usually in the time it takes to actually travel where you want to travel, unless you're going really far in Hyperspace, you don't get to like sort of the main part of the theme. There'll probably be some times later in this playthrough when there's not so many probes about that we'll be able to listen to the whole thing, because I really love this Hyperspace theme. But it doesn't get to sort of like the big crescendo until much later than some of the other remixes. There you go. This might be a Spathy actually. Nope. Just another probe. Brilliant. Also getting a little bit low on fuel, so we'll probably have a meeting with Trademaster Greenish at some point in the next few minutes. But for now, we just got to ride the storm of Spathy and probes. And another probe bites the dust. Just raking in the RUs, 550 each time we transmit that sequence. It'd be pretty cool if, I guess it would be maybe a little bit unbalanced, I don't know. But imagine if you got biologicals from like destroying Ur-Quan ships and so on, like ships which weren't probes, that actually has like actual sentient things in them. Oh, maybe I should have just given the Spathy the transmit self-destruct sequence, and then there wouldn't be any around here. Just transmit the sequence out to every known alien race, and then for them to transmit it as well, so I don't have to deal with it. I imagine the Mycon would probably be the only people who wouldn't comply, unfortunately. I think this might be a Spathy.
Hello, Hunan. What would you like to threaten me about today?
Nothing, just passing by.
Can we keep this as a secret between the two of us? It's really rather embarrassing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't really think we have anything to do with the Spathy anyway, other than having Fwifo on board. That's pretty much all there is to do with the Spathy. And of course, they slave shield themselves anyway, don't they? I guess the one thing that the Spathy are quite useful for, even after they slave shield themselves, is they do give you the caster that the Ungar used to impersonate Dogar and Kazon. So we have to, instead of getting the Hypewave caster from them, we have to go get the Bavixi's one. And I believe the story behind that, if I remember correctly, is that the Druge sent the Kohr-Ah towards the Bavixi's instead of them, I think, was how it worked, and the Bavixi's got wiped out and they just left their caster behind. And we need that to get the Ilrath to move out. So there you go, you can see the Pekunkka actually moving out now, which is quite nice. We've run out of fuel, and here's another probe. Another one. God, I know the rate's meant to fall off, but it definitely isn't falling off very quickly, is it? We're still meeting a lot of them. Is it possible that, I can't remember now, but maybe, now that I think about it, many years ago when I was looking into this and putting together like the path I was going to take through the game, I seem to remember something about how if you don't visit the starbase, like the number of probes you meet like rises a lot quicker than it normally would do. Is that right? Or something about that? Or maybe it doesn't decrease as quickly after you get the transmission? I don't know whether or not there's some sort of variable in the game that is just to do with like how regularly probes spawn, and if you don't visit the starbase, maybe that rate goes up faster than usual, and so it's taking a lot longer to come back down again, possibly. And that's why we're still seeing quite a few of them. And as we get through the game a little bit more, we'll actually stop seeing them. So I definitely remember when we played the original game, played through the original playthrough, I definitely stopped kind of seeing them at all after a certain period. Like, I didn't have to worry about them anymore. But in this case, it seems like it's dragging on a bit more. Having said that, I'm not so many episodes through. I can't remember exactly what point in the game that I met the Slylandro in the original playthrough, but I don't think it was before like episode 25 or something. I think it might have been episode 25 or 26, the when I actually meet them. We're not even there yet, and we've already dealt with them. It would be nice if there was a transmit self-destruct sequence option in the menu at that bottom right, so I wouldn't have to go through this like loading of the conversation at all. You just go into the menu, transmit sequence, get the RUs and move out. That would be quite nice, but I suppose it would require a bit of modding. I don't think it'd be too bad. Where are the Melnorme? Come on, mate. Where's Greenish? Need your fuel. I'm not sure how many credits I've got, but I think I've got a lot, so I don't think I have to visit too many more planets with biologicals. I'm looking through the list of things I need to do. I don't think I actually see any more. Oh, maybe there's one or two more? I think I see one more for getting biologicals, and then that's it. Gamma Aquarii 5, apparently. It's quite a good one. So that will be the last ever time we just going for biologicals. Everywhere else is like a useful spot in the galaxy that we need to pick something up.
This very morning, I was just saying to subordinate Ochre, Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the feet of a human. We laughed and laughed. What a synchronicity.
Right.
We appreciate your...
Okay, so I don't have any biologicals on board, but I can certainly buy some stuff. Got a lot of credits. Just a bunch of fuel, that's all I need. Fill my tanks.
Fuel transferred to your vessel. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
I mean, really, you're visiting me. I'm not really doing much of the visiting myself, but I look forward to it too, because you're a crucial component of this wild adventure through hyperspace, trying to restore the old alliance. I suppose it would be a little more wild if we didn't have to keep getting visited by Spathian probes, and Mycon, and Vux, and Ilrath, and Ur-Quan, even. I mean, well, we haven't really met any of them yet, but... I suppose the Ur-Quan are still pretty much completely unaware of this precursor vessel's existence, because I'm assuming that drone never really went anywhere. I don't quite understand what the story of that drone is. Where did it actually go? Did it actually go back to, like, the Ur-Quan sphere of influence and tell somebody? Like, what actually happened? I don't know. So it's probably going to be a major shock to them when I rock up to Delta Craterus with a Dinyari, a massive super bomb, antimatter super bomb, crystalline, amplified Shamur vessel, and a bunch of ships. I'm probably wondering what the hell this guy's been up to in the last few years. We're slowly getting there now, slowly leaving this area of space, getting closer to Betelgeuse. Slowly getting to the point where I've used up all of my ancient history of recorded footage from 3 years ago. I actually get to playing this game again, actually physically being in the game. It's been very strange the last few episodes. I haven't actually played this world, this playthrough, for so long. I've just been watching old stuff that I've kind of forgotten about. But it'll be nice to get back, actually play it. Got to talk to the Cyrene and get that whole Cyrene rebellion going. The Battle of Organon, the destruction of the Mycon fleet, and so on. We're getting close to that sort of part of the game where it all comes to a head. And I suppose that's the wonderful thing about this game, even though I've been taking like the shortest path through the game, knowing exactly which planets to go to optimise, well, not completely optimise, but optimise to some extent how long it takes to go through it. It's still been a long playthrough, and there's still a lot to go. Like, there's actually so much to this game, even without all of the backstory that there is to do with the Ur-Quan and the sentient milieu, and all that sort of thing. There's so many side components to this game. Of course, the whole Yehat Rebellion thing I basically can't do in this playthrough. So there's so much stuff, and it's crazy. Even when you're doing the bare minimum, there's still so many places you need to go. I think that's what makes these sort of games great. And especially at the time, back in '92, when those sort of games were quite rare, like games that really, really push the boundaries of just packing so much stuff into a single game. Which is fantastic. So, here we are. We're at Betelgeuse, we're at Gaia, and in the next episode, I'll be back at the keyboard actually playing the game. We'll go talk to the Cyrene commander at the starbase, save the game. So, thank you once again for watching episode 20. This series is well and truly alive. It's fantastic to actually be doing it again after all this time. Yeah, talk to you then. See you soon.